This week, President Biden submitted to fellow Democrats the framework for his Build Back Better or human infrastructure plan. It did not include everything that progressives want, nor everything that moderates want, not even everything conservatives want. But it was a major compromise, and it went from the $6 trillion to 1.75, between 1.75 to 1.85 trillion dollars, which is still a major piece of legislation. Now, this is one of the biggest pieces of social legislation to affect the social network since the anti-poverty program of the 1960s and the New Deal program with Social Security in 1936. Now, what's in this Build Back Better plan? What are some of the final things that may go through? For one, universal pre-K for 3-4-year-olds, which is extremely important. It will directly impact low-income, Latino, Black, white families, especially single-family households, by providing this universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. And enable parents to work, go to school, and what have you. Child care assistance. And the expense for child care has skyrocketed. There are some households in which, outside of rent, the biggest expense is child care. Well, the bill includes child care assistance, limiting it to 7% of annual income, which is a major step. For the elderly, it's a give and take. Dental is not included, but it does include hearing. Close to 17 million elderly lose their hearing or have difficulty hearing. And when a person gets 65 or 70 and they need to get a hearing aid, it's not covered by Medicare. And those hearing aids could run a couple $1,000s. And it's beyond the budget of so many people. And being able to hear is just, hearing is your second most used sense outside of vision. So it's really important to quality of life in your latter years. The extension of the child care credit is also included. Plus, the most significant increase to address climate change ever, $500 billion for climate. So in which $320 billion is tax credits to build solar, nuclear, wind power. Another $105 billion to combat extreme weather, the effects of extreme weather. Another $110 billion for clean energy products, and $20 billion for more green technology. It comes out to about $500 to $550 billion. It's not what the progressives wanted, because they wanted much more with the urgency of climate change. But still in all, this is a significant piece and a major first step. There's taxes on the wealthy, not direct tax, but surcharge and other kinds of tax on wealthy and corporations. They were not able to get that increased tax rate. You have to remember, the deficit shot up. One reason, the major reason for the deficit going up under Donald Trump, is that the tax rate on corporations, he cut it from 35% to 21%. And the original proposal proposed returning it back to 35%. Before Donald Trump was in office, they were taxing corporations at 35%. But they had to take that out. in order to get a package which can pass. And this is just passing by Democrats. This is going to be passed by reconciliation with no Republican support. There's about 150 for affordable housing in it. That includes monies for Section 8 and building of new affordable housing. What's out? What did they have to take out? Now, the original proposal by Bernie Sanders and the Budget Committee was $6 trillion. The initial cut brought it down to $3 trillion, $3.5 trillion. Now it's at $1.85 trillion. And so a lot of stuff had to be taken out. The prescription drug reforms, prescription drug prices are just uncontrollable, unregulated, and the lobby is so strong that Congress refuses to regulate that industry. So, they can just increase the cost of prescription drugs with no rhyme or reason and without worrying about any kinds of feedback or violating any regulations. Also, the major piece that was taken out, and this is a piece that Biden really wanted, was paid leave. An employee gets pregnant or any other emergency, paid leave. Initially, it was 12 weeks, up to 12 weeks paid leave, and then there was a compromise down to 4 weeks, and now they had to take it out altogether because Senator Manchin, the Democrat conservative from West Virginia, didn't want it. 74-year-old man concerned about pay leave and people abusing it. Thus, we will be the only industrial country that does not have pay leave for employees. Some big action on climate was taken out of this plan, and that was activities to increase output of zero carbon power. That was taken out. Also taken out was free community colleges. These were all part of the plan that brought it up to $6 trillion. And now it's down to $1.85 trillion. There is a provision in there for historical black colleges, billions of dollars. We'll see if that stays in the final package. I hope this has been useful. Now, you have to understand this is a major piece of social legislation. This is going to impact a lot. And the Democrats have been battling back and forth between progressives and moderates on what should be in it and what shouldn't be in it. And don't get upset about this back and forth because that's the process. The process is going back and forth and the process is compromise. This country was built on that process, back and forth, dealing with issues of slavery, dealing with issues of citizenship, dealing with issues of voting, debated back and forth. That's the way it should work. Now, when people say, but Republicans, look at under Donald Trump, there was none of this debate stuff. They just went and passed stuff. Yeah, they did. And people voted out of fear. Congress voted out of fear. They didn't want to upset the president and have him turn on them. That's not a democracy. That's not the way a democracy should work. That's the way a dictatorship operates. So this back and forth, we will get a package through. That package will help us in the 2020 midterm election and definitely help us in 2024 to increase Democratic participation in both the Senate, the House, and maintain the presidency. And it gives a platform for Congress to come back and ask for those things, to design bills to address those issues that we're taking out of this package. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for listening.